Today we will be talking about words like there is or there are. In Portuguese, it's a super simple word only with 2 letters, and I'm sure you've seen this before. Then words like day, week, month, and year, and expressions like every day, every week, and so on. And then words like above, under or below, in front, and behind. We will be creating sentences and questions with these ones. So the first word I was telling you about is the word there is or there are. And this is super useful to know. In Portuguese, we tend to complicate things, but actually this one is super easy and we just say a. A means there is or there are. And remember that when you have an H in the beginning of any word, it's always silent, okay? So you just say ah. So if you want to say, for example, there is lots of food, you can say há muita comida. Há muita comida. Maybe you've seen this before if you live in the south of Portugal or by the coast. Maybe you saw this sardinhas at the restaurants. Usually when it's the sardine season, they have papers on the window saying sardinhas, there are sardines. So, or another thing that some of you don't like, it's this one, caracóis. Caracóis, it's snails. I also don't like it, but you will see these papers when it's time for snails or for sardines. So continuing, you can say, for example, there are lots of people. How would you say that in Portuguese? There are lots of people, há, and then muitas pessoas. Há muitas pessoas. Pessoas is people, it's plural, that's why we say muitas with an S in the end. So há is for there is, singular, and there are, plural. Then if you want to say there is no water, what you have to do is start by putting no in the beginning of the sentence and just say não há água. Não há água. There is no water. You can also use this to ask questions. For example, is there any wine, or is there wine? Remember that when we are creating a question, it's exactly the same structure as a statement. So we just say há vinho and make it sound as a question. Há vinho, is there wine? So you can play with this one and for example, there is no time. Another one that I just thought about, there is no time. Não há tempo. Okay? The next one I want to share with you, these words probably you already know, but I want to explain you something else. So if you want to say the day, in Portuguese, you should say o dia. Dia ends with an A, but as you know by now, it's a masculine word, it's an exception. That's why we say o dia. Then the week, a semana. The month, o mês. And the year, o ano. So this is easy. And now if you want to say every day, in Portuguese we say all the days. So we say todos os dias. Todos os dias means every day. We will create sentences and questions, but before, let me just give you the lists so you can understand it better. So if you want to say every week, it must be todas as semanas. Okay, because semanas is feminine and plural. That's why we say todas as semanas. Now, month, as you can see here, it's masculine. So every month it will be todos os meses. Every month, todos os meses. And every year, it's easy, following the same idea, todos os anos. Okay? So the only feminine word here is actually week, semana. So how could you say, we watch TV every day? We watch TV every day. To watch or to see is ver. So we watch, nós vemos, TV, televisão, and every day, todos os dias. Nós vemos televisão todos os dias. If you don't watch TV every day, you just have to say nós não vemos televisão todos os dias. You always add the não before the verb. Then, I go to the gym every week. I go is eu vou, and to the gym, para o ginásio, every week, todas as semanas. You could say para o ginásio or ao ginásio. Both are correct, but I think for you it's easy to remember that always after the verb to go to, it's much easier to say vou para, and then the gym, o ginásio, because gym is masculine, that's why we say o ginásio. So you have these two options, para o or using ao, both are correct, but I think the first option is much better for you to remember. If you don't go to the gym every week, you can say eu não vou para o ginásio todas as semanas. Then the next one, using the word I just gave you before, how would you say there are tourists in Portugal every month? Let me just create some space here. There are tourists in Portugal every month. Há turistas em, Portugal every month, todos os meses. Há turistas em Portugal todos os meses. And this could be a question as well. Are there tourists in Portugal every month? And you just make it sound as a question. Há turistas em Portugal todos os meses? It's as simple as this. Then the last one for this section is I like to travel every year. I like to travel every year. Eu gosto de viajar todos os anos. We always have de after the verb gostar, as you probably know by now. Eu gosto de viajar todos os anos. Now we have the words on top, under, in front of, and behind. On top of, we say